All right, welcome back for another episode of Chasing Ghosts. This is episode 97, though technically I think it's more like 99. But anyway, it's episode 97 of this series of books that I'm talking about that are hard to find, impossible to find. These are books you're not just going to see just on the wall at your shop. You might have to do some research, some legwork, get lucky to find, and really do some searching because they're not always the easiest thing to find. Just due to some rarity, lower print runs, some harder to find things, etc. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And yeah, if this looks familiar, this shirt, it is, because I filmed my last three things all together on Sunday afternoon. But don't let this fool you, because I actually have like 4 copies of this Mega Man shirt, but with different lineups. I think this is Mega Man 5, the select screen. I got 6. I also got Mega Man 1 and 2. I still got to get 3 and 4. I don't know. I'm weird. I collect weird things. As you can see, I collect weird things. That all said, if you want to know what hard to find books and impossible to find books I have for you this week, all you got to do is hang out for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okay, so if you watched yesterday's Hidden Gems, then I already kind of teased and talked about this first series I'm going to cover here on the show for today, and that is Punisher Kill Crew. Oddball title, and with an oddball title, and it has variants. These things, it just, let's see what we got with these things. Let's see how many are actually out there. So, variant edition, Punisher Kill Crew. This is issue 1. This is a Nick Klein cover from August 2019. This is a 1 in 25 incentive. So, I mean, how many shops are ordering 1 in 25 copies of Punisher Kill Crew? I don't know. Some did, but not everybody. Print run on this. Oh, it's only 23,000. Yesterday, I guessed it was in the 30s because this issue 1 also has a second print. So enough people bought it that they made a second print that, hey, okay. But 23,000 copies thereabouts makes our incentive at a 1 in 25 only about 952 copies. So under 1,000 is not too bad. In the CGC census, we only got 2 copies. They're both 9/8, but we only got 2. So this is one of those low incentive population type books. And I know some people like collecting just for that reason alone. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what you can get out of this book? I can tell you that a copy did sell within the last 3 months, and it sold for all of $100 for one of those 2 9.8s. So that's actually not too bad of a buy, I guess. Right? I don't know. Seems, I mean, it's about right. I don't know. It's not like a well thought of title or anything like that, but still, 1 in 25, 9.8, under 1,000 copies, only $100. Seems all right, I guess. Well, as far as asking prices go, I got 3 examples, but there are a few more than that. These are just 3 that I gave you. Cheapest $13, $18, and then some copies as high as $45, thereabouts. By and large, it's closer to under ratio than it is above ratio, but still not a ton. There's only a couple more copies than this, but there were still more than the 3. So this one's probably not going to make it on our ghost side of things, but it's just a fun, odd little book that you can go and go look for. If you have it, if you have any of the books that I talk about on any of the shows, feel free to please tag me, mention me on Instagram or hashtag or all that stuff. I love seeing your guys' collections, and I love seeing when people have some of the books that I talk about here because I don't have all these. I have some of these books, but by and large, these are books that I'm just interested in and looking into and looking at because I want to know more, and I film it and I share it with you guys. So I'm doing my research just for my own personal edification, and I figure while I'm doing it, I can share it with you guys too. So that's kind of how this kind of came about. And with that said, issue 1 also had a hidden gem cover too. So the hidden gem cover on this one goes a little bit of a throwback here. This is Mike Zeck, and this is a 1 in 50. So it's still August 2019. This is a 1 in 50 Mike Zeck cover. I like the orange here. I think it's pretty cool. Kind of like the cover. It's a little bit too much empty space there. Maybe some of the blood splatter or bullet holes should have been a little higher. I don't know. Just seems like just a tiny bit of extra space, but that'd be a perfect spot to get a signature or a remark or something if you're into that kind of thing. That said, print run's still the same, 23,000 plus. But our incentive, being a 1 in 50, is only 476 copies now. So half as many as our last one. But with that, there's still more in the census. Maybe it's because it's Mike Zeck, classic Punisher artist. Whatever the reason, there are 12 9/8 and a 9/6 for a total of 13 copies in the census for the 1 in 50, whereas the 1 in 25 only has the 2. Copies have sold for this book as well. As you can see here, more than the 3 I'm sharing. Raw copies sold for $50. 12 bids got one up to about $48, and then 22 bids got another one up to $77. So not too bad. I mean, that's still right around ratio, a little bit more, but there's some action. There's some actual bids going on this book where it's not just buy it now. So some people are aware of it and are looking at this one for one reason or another. But right now on the market, I only found one. So I only found this single CGC98 signature series with, it looks like a remark. As you can see there on the cover there, it looks like a remark of Castle's head in that spot that I was mentioning. Signature and remark right in that empty space. And it's $400. So it's not cheap, but I don't know if that's unreasonable considering, I mean, signatures, remarks, that's a whole nother category. It's not an always apples to apples comparison, which is why I don't know too much about it. I don't know too much about the whole market for signatures and remarks. It's just, again, I'm not a sig guy, so I don't pay too much attention to it. So that is a weak spot for me. But with that all said, nobody can know everything. So we're just going to move on from issue 1. And I know you're expecting to see issue 2, but there was no incentive for issue 2. But for whatever reason, we did have an incentive for issue 3. Anyway, we have this book here. Gerardo Sandoval, September 2019, a 1 in 25 again. Again, no 1 in 25 for number 2, but we did have one for number 3. Print run goes all the way down to about 15,000 at this point. So this 1 in 25, pretty cool Juggernaut, and I didn't even get to that. Juggernaut and Punisher there with an axe. He's got, big blade. 600 copies thereabouts, potentially. Again, these are best estimates that we have based off of Comicron order numbers and doing that ratio incentive math. These are not set in stone. This is not to be taken as gospel or anything like that. This is just best guess information that I can provide you. Again, the estimated print run, it's fully available, comicron.com. You can look it up for yourself. You just got to know the month and the book and all that stuff. So it can be tedious if you don't know what you're doing. But that's where I'm getting the estimated print run number from. And then the incentive number is just, again, that ratio math, which is not exactly how it's done. So again, I know that too, but just explain it to you because sometimes we get newer viewers. They may not know where these things are coming from. So I try to explain it at least every once in a while. But that said, in the census for this book, we do have all of 1 copy. So again, all you low census collectors, you might be able to find, the next 9.8 because there's only one 9.8 in the census total for this book. 1 copy sold of this recently at auction. 5 bids got one up to $20.50. Again, I don't think this is a book anybody's looking out for. So these types of things selling at auction, you'll see a lot of low sale prices for this. I mean, under ratio, you might not consider it a low sale, but again, this is there's like potentially 600 of these out there. Oddball issue 3, Punisher Kill Crew book. Like, how many do you expect to find out there? Well, if you said 1, well, that's what I did find out there. I found 1. And right now, this one is ending today, Sunday night. We'll see where it ends after I'm done filming this. But right now, it's got 3 bids, and it's up to $10.25. And I will say, at this moment, I'm the high bidder because I said, you know what? I'll pay about $10 for this thing. So if somebody else outbids me in between then, I'm just probably not going to win. But that's okay. Like I said, I like buying these things for cheap, especially these oddball things. So I took a shot. We'll see. Right now, my $10.25 bid is probably still holding strong for a couple of hours. It's going to end at 9:17 p.m. right as the Tales from the Dark Side show is about to kick off. It's about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time now as I'm filming this on Sunday. So a couple hours. We'll see if I end up winning this or not. I'll be in the live chat on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you whether I won it or not. But with that, let's move on to the next book. So those are a couple Punisher Kill Crew books that you can go find. Again, oddball title. Maybe something you can find. Sticking with that kind of, the Punisher vibe, I went with this book. It's Deadpool versus Punisher, though. So Deadpool versus Punisher, number 2. Not covering anything else. Number 2. We got the incentive for number 2 here. This is a Howard Chaykin cover, April 2017, 1 in 25 incentive. Decent print run on this one. Maybe this is where I got the 35,000 in my head for the Punisher book. It was this one that's got 35,000. So the incentive here is a little over 1,400. So estimated numbers more than our last couple of books. But let's see what we got actually out there. In the census, we still have another 13, like that Hidden Gems cover, but only 10 9.8s, 2 9.6s, and a single 9.4. No copies sold for this book of late. So in the last 3 months, eBay history, couldn't find any copies sold for this cover, nor could I find any available. So none listed for sale. Not surprised. You think with almost 1,500 copies, with the popularity of both Punisher and Deadpool, that somebody would have this up. Plus, it's kind of fun. You got Deadpool putting on his t-shirt, and you got Punisher standing behind him. But nope, no right now. In this moment in time, no copies. So let's move on. And I got another side note connection to the Punisher. I don't know why I grouped these together this way, but I did. And this time, it's not Deadpool, but it's Gwenpool. So this issue of Gwenpool, the holiday special Merry Mix-Up, I like this, little homage to Die Hard. You got Frank Castle all tied up, and you got ho 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 on him. Granted, it's not exactly one for one, so I do take a little issue with that. It's now I have a machine gun. She does say I have a bunch of guns, but it's still kind of fun. So you got Gwenpool, Punisher, Christmas hat, Christmas special. This is a high ratio. Oh no, this is just a 1 in 25. Chip Zdarsky. Is it a 1 in 25? I thought this was a higher ratio than that. Anyway, maybe I messed it up. I think I did. Yeah, this is a 1 in 100. That shouldn't say 1 in 25. This is a 1 in 100. Yeah, because the numbers I got will back that up. So I'm not going to go in and fix this and recut it and re-edit it. Just know this is a 1 in 100, despite that 25 sitting there. December 2016. Hey, it's the third show I'm filming today, so I admit I am not on point at this stage. But let's look at the numbers. 33,000 thereabouts for the estimated print run. So our 1 in 100 incentive would give us only about 332 copies potentially. It's pretty low when you think about it. But again, it's an estimate. That's not set in stone. We can't say that for certain. But we can say in the CGC census, we do have 38 copies, 15 9/8s, 16 9/6s, and then a few others kind of rounding that out. Copies have sold of this book. It's only a little over 300, but I got 3 copies sold. $55 with 1 bid, $59 with 24 bids, and $132.50 with 7 bids on a 9.8 there. So a 9.8 just basically at ratio plus grading fees. Not terrible. I'm kind of interested in maybe at that price. Yeah, close. I mean, I'm still kind of a cheap buyer, but I don't know. That doesn't seem terrible to me for this book. It is a 1 in 100 after all. Granted, I'm not like a big Gwenpool fan, but I do like the Punisher, and I do like the the movie kind of callback. So that's kind of fun. That said, asking prices, there are a few. There are these 4, at least at this moment in time. I found 4. So there was an auction that's ending later tonight that's already up to $52. I thought about jumping in, but I would probably top out about that. Half ratio is where I would have tapped out anyway. So I didn't jump in on that one. A 9.8 looking for $666.66. Don't like the vibe there with all the 6s. 9.6 looking for $700, and then another 9.8 looking for $750, and that has 12 watchers on it, mind you. So people are keeping an eye on it. People are aware of this book, and there are shoppers for it. Just look, take a shot. Maybe you can win one at auction, because there are apparently copies coming up for auction here and there. Now, that's my Punisher segment of the Chasing Ghost show for today. We only got a few more books to talk about here, and we're going to shift on over to a title from Batman next. So we're going to go over to DC, which I know we don't do a lot of DC on this show because, well, I mostly pay attention to Marvel, but there are some DC incentives to talk about. And for today, we're going to start off with Kevin Smith's little 3-issue, him and his buddy Walt Flanagan. They had this 3-issue Batman title, Batman Cacophony. Now, this run has 3 issues in it, and there's a 1 in 25, and then there's a sketch 1 in 50. The 1 in 25s are all done by Bill Sienkiewicz, and all the 1 in 50s are the sketch covers from Adam Kubert. if I'm saying his name right. I know I say names wrong all the time. I need Dub to kind of help me with my pronunciations. That said, we'll start off here with issue 1. Just wanted to preface it because we're doing all 3 and we're doing both. So, issue 1, the Bill Sienkiewicz, November 2008, 1 in 25. We'll start here. Solid print run. I mean, Kevin Smith was a big deal as far as actor, writer, all that stuff, director, writing comics at the time. He had his Daredevil run, etc. We had the Spider-Man Black Cat, and we had this Batman run. Print run on this was almost 70,000. So the incentive here for the 1 in 25 is almost 3,000, 2,700 copies. That's a decent number for a 1 in 25 incentive. And in the census, there's not a ton. There's only 30, which is kind of surprising. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't want to grade Batman book written by Kevin Smith, I guess, but 24 9/8, 3 9/6s, and a few others filling out that 30. No copies have sold. I mean, again, this is not a popular title, not something anybody's been talking about lately, so I'm not completely surprised in the last 3 months we haven't seen this copy sell. When you also consider, well, the copies that are available, of which I found 3, they're not all that expensive. A couple right around ratio at $23 and $24, but then there's another copy that's only looking for $9. $9, not too bad. But there we go with our number 1 in 25. But as I mentioned, there is a higher ratio, the 1 in 50, which is the sketch cover. Not a huge sketch cover fan because it's just, well, it is undone. It looks undone because it is undone. It's unfinished art. But Adam Kubert, not too bad. Kubert, however you pronounce it. Solid run, solid artist. I do like his style. I, for a time, liked Andy better, but I think over time, I've appreciated Adam's work a little bit more than Andy. I don't know. Andy seemed to be closer at the time to Jim Lee's style, which is why I think I liked Andy when I was younger because I was a big Jim Lee fan. But in subsequent years, I think I liked Adam's Adam's take on things, and I do like his Wolverine run. And this is solid Batman. That said, this is 1 in 50, same book, November 2008. So the print run's still the same, just under 70,000. But the incentive here is half as many, so it's just under 1,400 copies for the 1 in 50. A solid 57 in the census for this one, though. 42 9/8, 8 9/6, and a few others. So many more of the 1 in 50s than the 1 in 25s. But like the 1 in 25, nobody's buying this right now. So there are no copies sold within the last 3 months. But there are a number of them available. So you can see here, we got some raw copies looking for 40, 45, $60. And then look, there's $35 will get you a couple of the variants that we're talking about here today in a little bit of a lot. So not terrible, but mostly right around that ratio mark. That said, let's look at issue 2. And this is Kevin Smith's character. I think he created in Green Arrow, his run on Green Arrow, onomatopoeia, right? So crack. Batman. That's who the bad is in this little 3-issue story, by the way. So issue 2, I kind of like this cover. I like the colors. They kind of pop. This is the Bill Sienkiewicz cover, 1 in 25, January 2009. Print run goes down a little bit, down to about 55,000. So the incentive is still a solid 2,200. In the census, we got 17 with 14 9/8, 2 9/6s, and a 9/2. Much like the other book, though, we've had no copies sold in the last 3 months. Again, not surprised, not something people have been hunting for lately, but was surprised that there are a number of copies available, more than just these 4, and some of them are as cheap as $6, and they go up as high as like 45. So price is kind of all over the place, but that's what you're looking at if you're shopping for this one. There is, again, a 1 in 50 sketch cover. This one, the Adam Kubert. The two of them fighting there, going diving down below. Same details here. So print run still the same, but our incentive is half as many, so about 1,100 copies on the incentive here. Census, we're only looking at 41, but still more than the 25, but less than issue 1. 33 9/8, 4 9/6, and a few others. So with that, let's see what copies have sold lately. We've had all of 2 sales the last 3 months. We had a raw copy sell for about $18, and then there was a $130 best offer on a 9/6 signature series. Not too bad, but like the other books, there's a plenty of these out there. There's a lot. Well, you see the print runs are kind of high, so I'm not too surprised that there's a copies available. But again, I am a little surprised at the prices. It's cheap as $10, $14, and then up to $108 for raw copies. And then meanwhile, a 9.8 was only $115. So very inconsistent pricing for a 1 in 50. Very inconsistent pricing. But what really drew me to this title and why I covered this whole run was mostly just for this next issue and this one, because this is a cover that kind of just jumped out. It kind of jumps out from the bunch. This is the issue 3 Joker cover. Bill Sienkiewicz art. Pretty cool. We got a sword there. Little joke from the Joker saying he missed, but sword's going right through him. Little bat logo on the sword. This one, let's see what this does. So this is, again, 1 in 25, March 2009. Estimated print run, about 52,000. So our incentive is still 2,100 for this 1 in 25. Still over 2,000 copies of this particular book here. A number in the census, 81 total, 5198, 1696s, and a few others. So a solid number, not surprised. It's a Joker cover after all. Prices, well, it's a little pricier. So 2 copies sold, best offer on $100 accepted for a raw, and then $200 for 9.8. Doesn't seem that bad when we look at the available copies. And again, not totally surprised at the number of copies available, considering there's over 2,000 projected. But raws, $80 to $218, up to $350 for raw copies. Meanwhile, there's a 9.6 looking for $115. Prices are kind of all over the place. Again, I get it, Joker premium, but try not to. Oh, I'm sorry. That $218 is actually for a 9.8. So $114 for a 9.6, $218 for a 9.8. But meanwhile, somebody else is looking for $350 for a raw. They might need to go back in and check that, because I get it. Not everybody buys slabs, but that's a big price differential. That said, there we got our Joker cover. And since it's the 1 in 25, again, just like the rest, we do have a 1 in 50 sketch cover. So we're going to wrap it up here with this one. Adam Kubert, March 2009, 1 in 50. Same details, same 52,000 print run, but half as many for this one. So a little over 1,000 on this incentive. In the census, only 13. So 11 9.8s and 2 9.6s, which is a steep decline from the last, because everybody wanted the Joker, I guess. No copies sold. Also not surprised with that. And much like the rest, more than these 4 that I got for you. But a 9.8 only wants $70. Raw looking for $100. All 3 sketches looking for $125 and $175 for a raw. Again, prices are kind of inconsistent and all over the place, but highlight of it, 9.8, only $70 seems like a deal. If you're into collecting that kind of thing. I'm not a sketch cover collector. It might be a little harder to find, but it's probably still not for me. That said, for this week, what do we got? We got a bunch of hard to finds because there was a number of books that had a number of copies available. So Punisher Kill Crew 1, the Gwenpool, and then all those Batmans all had multiple copies available. But surprisingly, at least to me, I didn't think we would have 3 hitting the ghost mark, but that Hidden Gems Kill Crew had 1 copy. No copies of the Deadpool versus Punisher was a surprise. And then only 1 copy of the Punisher Kill Crew number 3. And it's at auction, and I'm currently winning as I'm filming this. So see what happens there. But I was surprised by that. So these 3, for this week at least, based off of this moment in time, we'll call these 3 our ghosts. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know if you have any of these. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. I do appreciate you all. I appreciate the support. I know this seemed like it ran a little short. I kind of sped through it a little bit, losing my voice. This is the 3rd show I recorded in a row on Sunday afternoon. I'm probably going to tap out now and see what I can do as far as editing these things go. And with that all said, thank you again, and I'll see you all soon with some more content. All right, later.